Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
It's always, man, great, great, great. How about yourself? How about
Good.
yourself?
Coach, I'm doing absolutely great. Before we even get started, you got anything you'd like to share? Some on your heart, on your mind, some happen, or you ready? Let me know how you want to do it.
Just a word I heard today, man. It's simple. Failure is never final. So
Mm,
take
okay.
it however you want to take it. Failure is never final. So
Wow. Okay. I hope they heard that. Failure is never final.
uh,
I got it. I hope they got it. All right, let's jump into it then, Coach. I hope they got that. I hope they got that. Coach, I want to talk about, I'm ready to get right into it as well. And I was just thinking about some things, but I want to talk about the number one reason blacks won't change. That's how I'm gonna put that like that. The number one, I like to narrow things down and bring it all the way down to the basics of it. And I'm gonna let you share whatever it is you'd like to share, but I came up with this right here. The number one reason blacks won't change. And I'm talking about from many, many years of dealing with us as a people. And first, I want to look at the topic. I want to break the topic down so I can make sure that there's clarity and transparency as I'm going through it. So, because a lot of times we take certain words and we have given the words our own definition and meaning. So, I just want to make sure a lot of times when I'm speaking that I'm clear on what I mean by certain words. And so, when I say reason, I'm talking about is a cause, or explanation, or justification for action or event when I'm talking about reason. I look at the second definition that I took down, the number two, and I want everybody to really think about this right here and make sure you shoot in the comment. Let me know what you think about this and share this information because I always tell you, YouTube is not going to move this information through the algorithm. It don't like information to help black, so we have to move it. And we're not even sharing it or liking it or sending a comment to move it. And like I always say, it lets me know even more that it'll be a long time as a people before we come together to do anything because we won't even move great information. And if it's not great information, let me know why it's not. Yeah, share that with me. Number two, it's the power of the mind to think. That's what I want them to make sure they remember. It's the power of the mind to think under informed judgment by a process of logic. Remember that definition of reason. When I talk about want, I'm simply talking about feel the need to. We don't want because I don't feel the need to. I just want you to remember that. I don't feel the need to. I don't want. And we talk about change, we talk about to make someone or something different, to alter or to modify. All right, that's the topic. The number one reason blacks won't change. Now that we're clear on the title and the number one reason that I came up with, and if you got one, coach, I'm gonna let you share it. And I'm gonna give a little information on mine so you can go with whatever you come up with. I would say this right here, the number one reason blacks won't change, we won't face reality. Slow down 1 second. I just want you to slow down 1 second. We won't face reality. Reality is the world or the state of things that they actually exist, as opposed to an idealistic or notional idea of things. Coach, we won't face the fact, first of all, and this is a conversation this week. I don't know how I keep falling into these conversations. I don't. But I do them. I do a little bit of it and then I'll move on. But we got to understand this once again. We got to understand that we won't face the fact that religion is simply a belief system. That's all it is. We don't want to face the reality of it. It's simply a belief system. It's what you have accepted, and there's nothing wrong with whatever you believe in or whatever your religion is, but it doesn't make it true just because you have accepted something. I have to slow down. So if you have a belief, live it, no problem. If you're telling me you have a belief, then I need to see you live it. We have to face reality, coach, that God is a concept. You can pull it up and just ask, is God a concept? Real simple.
Mm.
Just pull it up. Just ask the question. We have to face reality that God is a concept and that there is no empirical, pull the word up, evidence
Evidence.
that God exists or that prayer works. We got to face reality. That's why we won't change, because we won't face it. I'm gonna let you go in, coach. We won't face reality. And it's like this right here. I know it's hard for some of the things that I'm saying. I know it's hard for you to hear, but it's time to face reality. It's your belief. It doesn't make it true. And when it comes to getting something done in your life, if you're going to get anything done in your life, faith, believing, believe, hoping, wishing, let me tell you something. Those things means nothing without you taking some kind of action.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a fact, man. We'll sit around with this faith and believe in all of this and hoping and wishing, but not putting any work in toward the things that we saying that we have. Even the Bible says faith without works is dead faith. So whatever your faith, whatever you believe in, whatever you believe, whatever you hoping, whatever you wishing, if you don't apply some type of action toward that you saying that you have faith in, you believe in, you have belief in, you hoping that'll happen, that you wish it won't, it won't, it won't. It's time to face reality. It's time to face reality. So, coach, I ask you, and I don't know if the question itself would bring on an answer from you, but what do you think the reason? I'll put it like that. Do you
Mm.
think we'll change? Do you think there's a change? Do you
I
think
think
that?
we'll be forced to.
Okay, okay.
I think because of circumstances and consequences, we have no choice. But you know, those who don't change are going to perish. I mean, period. I
Mm,
really believe that. Uh, First and foremost, man, from dealing with people, whether it's in the past, now, whether it's an everyday basis, folks will operate more so on feelings as opposed to what's true. You know, that reason and logic, man, not too many individuals you can really have a conversation and you have that verbal banter. You're like, you know what? I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. I get that. Or I agree to disagree. This is why, example, you know what I mean, et cetera, et cetera. No, as I feel,
mm,
and they operate off of that. You know, I really think, man, you in your life, male, female, whoever you are, if you're operating in a space and feelings and not what is real, what is the truth, not using your logic, to maneuver. I said this game called life. Oh, you gonna find yourself in trouble,
mm,
and you want to have no choice to deal with that truth and deal with that logic. If you don't do it willingly, unwillingly, you can be going down that road because you ain't had no choice. Because life can hit you upside your head. I mean, real and truly. You're gonna have instances where you got these lessons you got to learn, man. If you don't learn it, they're gonna keep coming back, and they can be worse than it was before. That's just life, you know. That's just life. So, like I said, a lot of people come, they don't want to deal with it. I don't know if it's a fear of, well, knowing that they have to change, because you just can't know, okay, my belief or what I taught was right is not right. Now I know this, you got to change. You got to change how you think, how you move. You might have to change who you're around. So I don't know if it's that fear that people like, man, I've been rolling this long. Let me just keep going. You know, I was having a conversation with some folk, and they're talking about it was, well, a lot of people say how hard it is. Okay, fine. But because it's hard where you are, does that mean it's hard everywhere? Okay, you got to decide, okay, what can I do? Can I change, if I change my location somewhere else, would it be easier for me? You know, if I change my profession, you got to come up with something, because if it's hard now, it's going to get easier tomorrow. Next day, it's going to get much easier for you. If you don't make a change in what you're doing, that hard is going to get harder. You know, so it boils down to you. Now, you can lie to yourself if you want to, but you still got to face that truth. Today, tomorrow, as long as you breathe, you're going to face it, willingly or unwillingly, man. So I just propose, hey, deal with it for what it is. I know it can be scary. I know change can be scary. But what if you just don't and you stay right where you are? And it's keep compounding upon you. Is that going to make a change? Nah, you got to make the change. You know. So.
And that's where we are. And I like when you say that, you got to face the truth, because when you begin to study these two words, reality, true, and truth, they're all somewhere within each other's definition if you look in now. So it comes, so I love it, because you come right back to my number one reason, and that's facing reality. You say facing the truth.
A lot of people, I'm telling you, man, it's just imagine you having a conversation with someone and you're literally listening to them lie on themselves. To you, it's a lie. And you know it is from previous conversation. But to them, that lie became a truth because they hold on to that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And you're going to live your life based on that? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and we're perishing as a people because we won't make that change and we won't face reality. And another guy during the course of this week, Coach, I mean, it really blew my mind that in 2026, this guy within a conversation that we was having, and he was a Christian. He heard me talking to somebody else, then he jumped into the conversation, and I can tell that he's so indoctrinated. And this is an older guy. This is not a young guy. This is an older guy.
It don't make a difference, man.
He's so indoctrinated until he was sharing his belief as if it was the truth. I mean, I wish somebody else I was looking so someone else could really hear this, who's conscious though, not just another believer, but who's conscious. And I'm gonna tell you something, Coach, he was speaking as there was no opposition to what he was saying. I
Yeah.
mean, he he was speaking, and he's not willing to face reality. Watch this right here. And I told him, and he got real quiet because I guess he hadn't thought about it. Like, damn, he's not facing reality. And within the Christian sector, within the Christian sector, they oppose each other.
Oh, no doubt.
You know,
Yeah.
he's talking like it's just one Jesus and everybody go with
But
the
it's,
one Jesus. And I'm telling him, I'm saying,
nah,
you
we
need to
know it
slow,
ain't like
yeah,
that.
you need to slow down, my man, because even within your sector, you all can agree.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he began to look like hey, damn, like, man, yeah, I ain't never really thought about that. He's so indoctrinated into one way. And I'm trying to let him know that you don't have to oppose each other. My man, you telling me all of this and all of that, but it's studied over 45,000 different Christian denominations throughout the world. So I don't even have to go into another religion to come in and try to debunk
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
saying. I don't have to go to an atheist or somebody. You all can't even get it together within your
Hmm.
Christianity sector. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, after all this time of being so at this age, you still don't get it. And I can put a scripture down and take so many you all, the Jehovah, the Seventh Day, the Christian, the Pentecost, and all of you all can interpret that scripture different. And so that's one of the things that I really didn't like as I began to study more religion, especially coming from Christianity in the Baptist church, where we were so arrogant that we are able to tell someone that if you don't follow our way, you're going to this place called hell.
You know, today I saw a piece with this young lady, and she did it so eloquently, man. That's a young female, man. And she basically started off, and well, she was writing somewhere, she said, and she just heard this person, you know, the megaphone and the street corner preacher,
Mm.
you know, if you don't do this, you're going to hell and all that shit. And she just listening, and I guess it, you know, I guess it got into her head and she started thinking about religion. And the brief synopsis, she basically saying how a lot of folk didn't realize it started out as, you know, the real deal until the Romans got hold of it, you know, and decided, well, okay, man, we can, you know, we can do some things with this. We can control these folks. And John just spread like that, you know. You got a group of people literally using fear,
Absolutely.
even that for others to accept what they pushing, you know. When she break it down, like, wow, man,
Yeah.
for a young woman, that's real special right there. So I don't even think that folks look at that as far as the origin. They don't even look at it like that,
Not going to look at it.
you know.
Most folks in the church is not going to do their homework. That's a fact. Most are not going to do that study to go back to the origin to really get into it. Not going to happen. So that's why I say we'll just accept what somebody is telling us. That's the problem that we're having. And once again, even in the Bible, Paul told Timothy to study to show yourself approved. Like I say, it's a good book. So some great stories, but you got to know how to use it. You understand what I'm saying?
Definitely, yeah.
But let me tell you this, coach. And we got to face reality. And here's from me having conversations for the last couple of weeks with people, from me having conversation. I got to share this and I got to say this, and you jump in anytime you want to. But this is from some conversations within the last couple of weeks. Your perception of something or someone doesn't always make it true. Your perception
Yeah.
of someone or something, it doesn't always make it true. Just because you see something a certain way, it doesn't make it true. Your perception doesn't make it true. You can be wrong Until you get clarity or understanding, it's just your perception. Coach, a lot of us won't change because we have taken the way we perceive things to be the truth, and you can't tell us nothing else. I just want you to think about that. I want somebody to think about, because I know somebody can experience that somebody can said something to them that wasn't true. But just because that person saw it a certain way, you can't tell them that's not true. You got to understand that your perception of things doesn't make it true. Some people think, coach, literally, that the way they see it is the truth. You listen, here's the truth. Here's you could be sitting in your car and your female friend can go to get something, go buy something. You could see a guy talking to her. Your perception can be he's trying to rap to her. Okay. But
True.
watch this. You can go in there acting a fool. You ain't got no clarity. You ain't got no understanding. When listen, he could have been asking her how to get to 285.
It's true.
Do you so we got to be that's one thing we got to face reality, and we got to understand that your perception doesn't make it true. And I've had this conversation with so many people because just because they see it a certain way, they think it make it true. I got to say this right here. Your opinion, got to do this right here. Your opinion is a view or judgment formed about something. It's not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. We have to stop pushing our opinions as if they are facts. It's another conversation, coach.
But I feel, man, I feel if
No,
you
tell it.
if you're about growth, you know, being better than you are, the way you look at things, you're not gonna look at it in, one way. You know what I'm saying? You probably try to get I guess you can say the 3D vision of it, because hey, you could see one way, and the only way, and that account of your experiences, your knowledge, that other person might have more insight than you, you know.
Coach, coach, that's why, coach, we won't change. Because, coach, I'm telling you, a lot of people think that their view, that their opinion is a fact, coach. I'm telling you. That's coach, I'm telling you why we won't change. We won't look at reality to get an understanding that that's just your opinion. That's not a fact. I'm telling you that a lot of us believe that our perception, like I just said, is a fact, the way we see it. Coach, a lot of us think that our opinion is a fact. I'm telling
I
you.
know about the perception part because I have folk tell me, man, you mad about you? I said, bro, I'm not mad,
I'm
man.
telling you.
That's your perception. I'm not mad. I say, if I were mad, we wouldn't be having this dialogue, you know? I said, you don't know my face look a certain way. I could be having some serious thoughts. Has nothing to do with you. But if you wanna, hey, see
I'm
it like that, then who am I to try to convince you otherwise? Hey,
I'm I'm telling you, coach.
hey, man.
In reality, your opinion is your view of something. It doesn't make it true. And I got to say this last one right here. The same with perspective.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. When you give your perspective, you're giving your point of view on a position,
Yeah.
your standpoint on something. We have to stop once again. This happens a lot. This why you won't see no change no time soon, because a lot of us think that our perspective is a fact. Coach, that's why we won't face reality to understand that that's just your opinion. That's just your viewpoint. That's just how you see it. And we have to understand that we got to come to the point when someone give their opinion or someone give their perspective, respect it. You give yours, they give theirs, and y'all respect it. Don't sit there because what happens a lot of times, you will literally have people that would try to convince you.
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah.
they would literally try to convince you that their opinion or that their perspective, you're wrong, I'm right. No, that's just your
You know, I hear you saying that, man. Is that the reason why the black male and the black female are at it?
something to think about.
That's all I can think about as I hear you talking, man. It's
Some,
like, wow, man.
see, we know it's something to think about, to work on, begin to correct things. Because as long as we don't correct our perception, our opinion, or our perspective, things will never change because you're going to keep pushing that as if it's the truth.
It's the truth. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
dangerous. I want us to hear about that. We got to share this information because a lot of us, this is the way we view things. So when it comes to perception, get clarity, get clarity, get understanding. And when it comes to perspective and opinion, if you can't prove it with evidence, what you're saying is true. If you can't prove it with evidence, I want you to hear this, that what you're saying is true, don't argue.
But you know, I can tell when someone took a soundbite and trying to make it their own. They have no facts or nothing. It's just that soundbite. A couple of people are saying it, so they take that and roll with that and act like, hey, that's the truth, that's a fact, and that's what I know, you know. And they really trip themselves up. It's like because they cannot elaborate, you know what I'm saying? They cannot
Absolutely.
break it down. They can just hold on to that and keep saying it as if that's gonna make it the truth. If the amount of times they say it. But that's what we are, man.
That's where we are. And I'm telling you, coach, it's one of the reasons things won't change no time soon. And it's a reason blacks won't change no time soon because we go back to the word want. We don't feel the need. There's no need. I'm right. Everybody's is always
Man.
right. Everybody's always right, coach. And I say this right here. You got to respect the other person point of view. That's their point of view. We got all the argument. I hear people, you got to respect you got to grow, somebody got to grow up and don't go
And
back.
that
Somebody got to mature. Don't
that's
go
key.
back and forth. That somebody got to grow up to
That's key.
understand. And I'll say this right here. In reality, most blacks won't change, coach, because they have made, like I said, their perception, their perspective, and their opinion the truth. So they feel no need to change.
And I can say how that's dangerous, man. That's dangerous because let's deal with your immediate surroundings. You know, whether it's a job, your business, family, and the truth is all around you, and you go with your opinion, with your perspective. And let's say you got to branch out from that because you got to deal with the rest of the world, and you standing on that with the shaky ground,
Mm.
and you just ignore the truth, ignore what's real. Mm. I don't want to imagine a life like that, man. I don't. How can you? I mean, how can you really say that you love yourself, ignoring what's real and what's true? How can you do that?
Mm.
Because if you got flaws, how can you try to change them? And you telling yourself, ain't nothing wrong with me, I'm good. It's something wrong to him, her, and everybody else. How are you growing? You know? But hey.
won't face reality. You got to face reality, coach. That's the number one reason blacks won't change, because we won't face reality. And then we use excuses. So
Oh, man.
if I'm talking to someone, because I deal with the mind, the body, and the soul, I deal with that connection. So if I put out information what someone need to do to take care of themselves, you would literally have people saying, "You can't judge me." I'm coach. You would literally have people say, "Here's the excuse they would use: You can't judge me." No, people don't understand the definition of to judge or the judging. You got to understand that if I tell you something, and then if I can bring evidence to bag up what I'm saying, then I'm not judging you. If I'm telling you that you need to take care of yourself physically because these things can have a higher percentage of happening to you, then I'm not judging you. I'm giving you, and then I can bring you data, however you want to pronounce it, of facts to show you that if you don't take care of yourself, these are the things statistically are already shown that can happen to you. And you're going to say that I'm trying to judge you?
But that's a closed-minded person, man. Closed-minded, small-minded, whatever you want to put. Because if you open for improvement, you definitely would not respond in that manner. You definitely would not just, you know. But
I'm telling
it's it.
you, a lot of
What I
us
know,
will.
man.
A lot of us
Hey,
will, coach. And I'm going to tell you this right here. If I tell you that you need to check your mental health, right? Because of your behavior, if I see a certain behavior, you got to understand that when I'm talking about your body, your mind, and your soul, watch this right here. Your perception, your opinion, or your perspective of how you see yourself may be going against the facts that I can show you. That's why you won't change. Because you feel like I'm giving you my opinion when I'm telling you that you need, that's not my opinion. I can back this. I want you to hear what I'm saying. Because from conversations that I've had with people and that I have with people, they think that when I bring evidence, where I can show evidence, they tell me that I'm giving my opinion. No, I'm not giving you my opinion. I can bag what I'm saying up with facts. But when they're stuck on their perception, their perspective, and their opinion, coach, that has become true in their life. And so when they hear anything different, then they say that you are giving your perspective. They don't understand that it's a fact. I'm telling you from
yeah,
conversation.
but could it be too, in certain instances, certain people are offended that what you saying is true, and they know it.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
know what you're saying is true.
Absolutely.
They're offended, and this is just their way of pushback
Absolutely.
because they don't want to accept what they, to some degree, already know.
Absolutely.
You just confirming.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You might not be the
Absolutely.
first one to say that,
Absolutely.
or put it. You know what I mean, like that. They feel some kind of way, so you got to push back. And I would say someone's response would tell you how don't them folk realize it where they are. Because a person who's growth and they're open. What do you mean? Can you elaborate? Let me know. You know, because they really want to know, and then they'll think about it. But once you start getting that pushback, oh man, you already know what you're dealing with.
And by you saying that, a lot of us don't want to be accountable, like we always say, and don't want to be hold ourselves responsible. You are responsible for yourself. You understand? And I always say, everything starts from here. I can say it on
Yeah,
200. Everything starts from there.
yeah.
So you where you are in life, especially if you make the decisions on your decision making. We understand life be life, and sometimes things happen. Got it. We understand that. But on a higher scale, a lot of us are in the position we're in from the decisions that we have made.
Yeah, yeah, from the choice, definitely,
Absolutely.
definitely. And it takes a grown person, and I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about grown in the sense, hey man, this thing called life, I want to learn my lesson because I want to be better. So I'm open. Come on. Constructive criticism, whatever. Let me weigh it out. Let me see. Okay. Then I need to change over here. Okay. Let me tweak it over here. Let me tweak over there. Come on, man. But once you get anything other than that, that pushback, don't judge me, da da da. They're already telling them themselves. They don't
Absolutely.
even know they're telling them themselves.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And I want people to think about those three words: perception, perspective, and opinion. I want you to kind of catch yourself when you having a discussion about certain things, or when you're listening to certain things, or someone is trying to give you some great advice. Be careful of how you looking at it. Because if that person can prove that the way you're looking at it is wrong, then you need to work on changing some things up. That's the problem. Someone is showing you that the way you're going is wrong, but you won't even change it because of your perception, your perspective, and you have your opinion. And that's what has happened to a lot of us. A lot of us have gotten up to a certain age. Can't nobody tell us nothing. The
yeah,
growth has stopped, and that's dangerous. We're
yeah,
not willing to learn nothing else. What we know, that's it. That's it. I got my way of looking at it. That's my way of looking at it, and I'm gonna stand on it the way. But that's that way you looking at it is self-destructing. That doesn't. If I can show you evidence that the way you're looking at it is wrong, no, no, I'm gonna stick with how I want to stick with it. Wow,
you're like, man, go ahead.
that's where we at, Coach. I'm done with it, Coach. Like I say, the number one
Uh,
reason blacks won't change, Coach, is because we won't face reality, Coach. It's 2 minutes and 38 seconds left, Coach. I'm done.
I can't imagine a life, man, not dealing with reality,
Mm,
you know, and it could be in whatever lane you want to choose to deal with it, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's you know, the condition of your life per se, you know, how you not man, they
mm,
got to be other than denial, they got to be something deeper than that. And I can understand you not wanting to deal with it because it's a shock, you know, and you don't know how to deal with it. And as you start thinking about it, you say, okay, man, how do I go about this? But just to deny
mm,
straight up and down,
mm,
that's not what it is. This
mm.
is how it is. So you're gonna lie to yourself. Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
So your whole life is a lie.
yeah.
How you feel, how you say you feel, all of that's a lie. I think the greatest relationship you can have, man, the most important relationship, let me say that, is with yourself. You know, because that determines how other relationships going to be, you know, with other people. And if you don't have that great relationship with you, and how do you expect other relationships to grow? I mean, talking about business, personal, whatever. How do you expect them to grow and be better? And you don't have that great relationship with yourself, man. But your life, man, starts with you. So you can leave it alone or you can take heed and start doing something about it. But you
All right.
still alive, that means you can change, man. So
We'll leave it right there, Coach. They still alive. They can change. So until the next time, I'll holler.
all right, take care, man.
Yes, sir.